So unless you've been living under a rock, you've probably seen adverts for eToro around. Like, all you have to do is watch some of my videos and you'll see eToro adverts popping up. However, although I'd heard of it before, I wasn't really interested in trying it out because I just assumed it was a CFD trading platform with high fees, and that wasn't something that interested me. However, it turns out that you can buy stocks and ETFs on eToro, so I'm gonna give it a go and let you know what I think. Everything in this video is going to be my own thoughts, and I've been using it for about a week, so I will do follow-up videos on how I'm getting on, anything new I found and how I'm finding it, and portfolio updates, and basically anything that I think you should know. But I wanted to do an initial sort of first thoughts, what I think, how it works video to basically tell you about it. And yeah, if after watching the video you have any other questions about the platform that you want me to look into, let me know. As always, I will try to get back to you either in the comments if I know the answer, or I'll have a play and then answer the question in a future video.
While we try to fight it, every time that we touch, the room caught on fire.
So I'm going to quickly take you through like the sign up process, the buying shares process, the general platform, the fees, and any other points or thoughts, and hopefully you'll get a good idea of what eToro is about. So in terms of the sign up process, I found it quite easy. It was relatively simple. You just filled in a bunch of details and it created the account for me. Not much to say about that. You know, if you've signed up for other trading apps, it's all very straightforward. However, the one thing I really wanted to point out is that I love that it asks you some financial questions. So as an example, it asks you, over the past 3 years, to what extent have you invested in or traded the following products? Equities, crypto assets, leverage products. That's brilliant. And you can see there it says, your level of experience will determine the products that we are able to offer you. Leverage trading may be restricted to those who have no experience. So the second I saw that, I straight away was impressed. I was like, this is great. As you know, when I've previously talked about CFDs, I've been very critical, and you know, with platforms like Trading 212, they don't really have these things in place to stop inexperienced people trading CFDs. And that's not to say that, you know, if you're a beginner, you won't be able to do it on the platform. They don't restrict you completely, but they restrict the amount of leverage that you are able to use, which kind of minimizes the amount of money you can lose. And then it actually tries to assess your knowledge of trading. So you can see here we've got, you know, please mark the correct statement, and then it's got a bunch of statements here and then asks you what the correct one is. So essentially what they try to do, like I said, is assess your level of knowledge to make sure that they are offering you the right products. In terms of deposit amount, it is a higher threshold than all the other 3 apps that I've used for investing. It does have an initial minimum deposit of $200, which when I signed up was about £155. But as far as I'm aware so far, I think that the following deposits you make are a minimum of $50 a time. So again, just a slightly higher barrier to entry, so just be aware of that if you do want to sign up, but it's not loads of money, and if you are serious about investing anyway, then I don't think it's too bad. I definitely feel differently if it was $200 every single time that you wanted to invest, but from what I've seen so far when I've tried to do another trade without money, it told me I had to top up at least $50. The other thing is that I get a lot of people from, well, I say a lot, not a lot of people, but I have quite a few people who've come into contact with me and have said, you know, I'm based in other countries, usually it's Europe, but other countries, and I wish we had these trading platforms. Do you know if they're available in my country? And more often than not, the answer has been no, it's UK only. However, with eToro, they are actually based in a hell of a lot of countries. So chances are, if you were one of those people who contacted me before, this is probably a platform that you will be able to use. In terms of fees, if you are only using it for investing, which is the only way I'm using it at the moment, is 0% commission, just like all the other platforms. So they don't charge you for trades, and they don't take commission or charge management fees or anything like that. So fairly competitive with the other platforms. They do have a currency conversion fee of, I believe it's 0.5% usually, with some other exceptions, so worth looking at. But I believe for the UK, from pounds to dollars, it's about 0.5%, which as far as I'm aware is the same as free trade. unless something has changed since the last time I looked. But yeah, I think pretty much standard sort of currency conversion fee that you get. So far so good, but the two fees you do need to be aware of is that there is a $5 withdrawal fee. So it doesn't matter how much you're withdrawing, you will be charged $5 for the withdrawal fee. So to me, that just means that anything that I put into this platform will be more for my long-term goals. So you know, I've talked previously about why I have multiple investment platforms, other than the fact that I want to try them out for you guys, is that I want each of my portfolios to serve a different purpose. And I did mention that potentially one of them will be more like the long-term, actually don't touch it for like 20-30 years, rather than being the one that I use for, say, earlier on in my financial independence. So essentially just making sure that if I am withdrawing, I'm withdrawing bigger amounts rather than withdrawing, you know, £100 and then getting charged the $5 on top. And finally, the other thing is the inactivity fees. So when I've read through conversations people have had about eToro on, say, Facebook or other social platforms, the thing that kind of caught my eye was the inactivity fees. And I think from what I've seen, people seem to think that these start applying really quickly. But actually, having had a read through their website, it seems like they only start applying after 12 months of inactivity. So what you want to do is make sure that at least once a year you are doing something on the platform, which again, if you are adding regularly to your portfolio or anything like that, then it's not really something that you need to worry about. But yeah, the inactivity fee is $10 per month after 12 months of inactivity. And it's not like they're charging you $120 for the 12 months you weren't active. They will start charging at month 13 every single month for $10. So in terms of what the platform looks like, let's jump in and have a look so you can see for yourself how it looks and how to buy stocks and things like that. So this is basically the dashboard that you will see. You've got the menu on the left hand side, and if we go to watch list, it just shows you everything there so far, whether I've added it. So at the moment, this isn't stuff I've added, it's just the general sort of popular stocks, but when you add stuff, it does get added here. And you can see it's a fairly clean outlook. You've got the changes, the buy and sell spread, and the range and the sentiment. So I quite like this sentiment bit here, which basically just tells you how many people are buying and selling the stock. So the one thing to mention about them actually is that they do advertise themselves as a social platform, which is partly, I guess, why they've got this buying selling thing. But also you'll see here they've got Copy People and Newsfeed, both of which are very interactive social platforms where you can interact with other people who are investing and or trading. As far as I'm aware, the Copy platform is a bit more on the trading side, so day trading and CFDs and stuff like that, but I will eventually try it out just to be able to tell you guys about it. But at the moment I've not touched it, so I'm not going to delve too much into it, but it is one of their main sells, is this social aspect of the platform. So they do have quite a lot of markets here. You can see there's a lot of things you can buy. You've got indices, you've got cryptocurrencies, you've got stocks, ETFs, commodities, which is great. Like, just to look at the amount of ETFs that are here, I was so overwhelmed when I first saw this. Like, obviously I don't recognize half of these because I'm still quite brand new to all of this, so you know, I will be researching more ETFs, but it's really good just seeing them all in a list like this, where you can just sort of choose one and then have a look. So I decided to search for AbbVie, and this is what happens. This is how the platform looks. So you search for your ticker symbol, and here you go, AbbVie page. So it gives you the news feed, which basically shows you things that people are posting about AbbVie at the time. So you can see here's something 3 minutes ago. You've got the statistics here, which is sort of similar to what you've got on a couple of the other platforms, but very detailed. You've got the charts, all the kind of financials, the margins, which is really clearly shown, which I quite like actually. Balance sheet, cash flow statement. And then you've got the charts here. Again, I don't really dabble in this at the moment, so not relevant to me. And then this research tab, which I love as well. It basically gives you what analysts are thinking in terms of the lowest price estimate, average price target, and the high estimate, whether they think it's a buy, hold, or a sell, and stuff like that. So this is the kind of stuff that I normally get from like Hargreaves Lansdowne, so it's quite nice having it neatly in one place. So in terms of actually buying it, you go in here and the first thing it tells you is that I need a W8 Ben form because I'm not based in the States. So this is essentially a form that you need to fill in to get back some of your tax that you're going to be charged. So I think it's 30% tax generally that gets taken off, but if you fill in this form, it's only 15% tax. So this is the page that you see when you are buying the stock. And initially I was really confused because I wasn't sure how to make sure that I was buying the stock and not a CFD, but all of that became clear when I actually went on this page. So although I felt initially, my first thoughts were like, this isn't very user-friendly, or not user-friendly, but not very intuitive. Once I clicked on it, I realized it actually is. So you can see here, you put in the amounts that you want to buy, and then it tells you how much of your equity that is. So actually I have $200 topped up, which was the minimum amount I told you before that you have to top up. And if I put in $100, that is 49.67 of my equity. And you can see here at the bottom, it says you are buying the underlying asset commission free. So this essentially tells you you are going to own that underlying share. It's not a CFD. The way that you make this become a CFD is, if you see here, you've got ×1 leverage. If you change that leverage to ×2 or ×5, that is how you know that you are buying a CFD, and you'll see there that it shows you there are overnight and weekend holding fees for CFDs. So if I go into my portfolio now, you'll see here that I've got $150 in AbbVie. So on this trade markets tab here, you can browse through all the different categories of goods and services. So this is quite a good way to get ideas about what you might potentially want to invest in and find new companies that you may not have thought of before. So basically, so far so good. They are the only platform out of the 4 I'm now using that has a really good online browser feature, because all the others I use on app only. And although eToro does have an app, and I do have it, and it's perfectly fine, like there's nothing wrong with it, it looks exactly like this sort of online platform, I actually really enjoyed doing all of this on a browser. Whereas when I tried the Trading 212 browser, it wasn't like, I don't know, maybe I should have spent longer on it, but when I went on it, it just, I don't know, I didn't like it. Okay, let's just leave it at that. I didn't find it very simple or intuitive. The way that the app is quite nice, I just didn't like the browser platform. It didn't work with how my brain works. So yeah, I'm basically quite pleased that I can use this sort of clean browser look. So like I said, so far so good. I will give you updates once I learn more, and you know, if you guys give me questions that you might be interested in about the platform. But my initial thoughts are that I do like it, and this will probably become my my 4th platform that I use. And once I know more about which platform I'm going to use for what, I'll probably do a video about that as well. But if you are interested in trying them out, I do have a link down below, so if you would like to use it to support me, that would be great. If you'd rather sign up by yourself and not support me, that's fine too. But just thank you for watching. If you got this far through the video, thank you so much, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.
And maybe I'll drown, but what can I do? And it would be alright to let me down. Rather we try than let these feelings slide. So I'm gonna dive into you.